What is up, people of the internet? Jedi Warrior back with another video. In this video, I wanted to create sort of a guide, I guess, on how to get skins and gear in Mortal Kombat 11. Even though the game's been out for, oh good lord, 4 years at this point. It came out in 2019, and it's May now, so it definitely was, yeah, it's been out for 4 years. Even that, since the game's been out, I have still not gotten everything unlocked as far as skins and gear, and even brutalities, which is a shame because those things are fun. So to help people like me who just haven't managed to get everything they wanted, or to help people who for some reason are just now getting started, I wanted to make this video. The first thing I want to talk about is story mode. It is the first thing you should do after getting the game and booting it up, because not only do you unlock Frost after Chapter 4, but you unlock a good deal of gear and skins. I know for a fact you get at least one thing for each fight, and 95% of them, I'm pretty sure, are more than that. So you get a pretty good amount of gear and skins. Although, admittedly, most of them you can get somewhere else, but I'll cover that later. The next thing is the tutorials. I'm not referring to the main tutorial like the basics and advanced combos and stuff like that. I'm referring in this case to the character tutorials. And the main reason is you get a skin for each character tutorial you complete, and they are locked to those tutorials. Although doing some of the main tutorials may not be a bad idea to start earning some coins for crypt use whenever you get there. Also, you can, after you go through the story, if you bring up your daily challenges menu with your left trigger and then hit your right bumper, you get some story mode rewards. You get some gear and skins there that I don't think you can get through anything else, and you get a good deal of coins. Next thing I want to talk about is the crypt. There's several points I want to make here, but the crypt at large is not only a source of endless pop-offs, at least if you're a nerd like I am, but a source for most of the gear and skins you're going to get in the game. Along with brutalities, fatalities, art, and other things. The first things I want to cover in the crypt are the heart chests. You'll find a chest where you have to knock a thing off the top of it. Dad described it as a head. I think it's supposed to be like a shotgun helmet. They cost hearts for sure, but I'm not sure the amount. I think they're typically around 250k, I think. 250k, but that seems expensive for all of them. They're found all over the crypt, and when you unlock them, you get a set skin, a set brutality, and one of each of that person's gear pieces. Like for a Scorpion one that I just got today, you got a Scorpion skin, the 3 gear pieces that went with it. So you got the full loadout, a skin and 3 gear pieces, and then I got a brutality. Which for me, that's why I'm doing the crypt, because I've already done it once. I'm going through it again on the Xbox. The next thing is the Warrior Shrine. When you enter the Warrior Shrine, there are, I think, 2 rows of chests along the walls. that you can't open. For these, you need to perform 25 fatalities on every character. It used to be 50 and brutalities used to count. Now they reduced it to 25 and brutalities don't count anymore. Once you do it on, or once you have killed a single character the required amount of times, you'll be rewarded with the severed head of that character. Creeped out yet? I was. Go back into the crypt, throw the head onto one of the spikes. It will only go on one. And you will unlock its corresponding chest, rewarding you with another character loadout, a skin, and 3 gear pieces, a intro cinematic, and the head chest are just victory cinematics. And in the case of Cetrion, you earn Cetrion's amulet, which you need for a puzzle later on in the Kaiten Hive. Shang Tsung's throne room. Once you have gotten all 12 or all 25 of the head chests, and no, there are not any for DLC. Once you've gotten all 25 of them, you gain access to Shang Tsung's throne room. One room opens up at 10, one room opens up at 20, and the last room opens up at 25. In this room, or in these rooms, you have a chest for each character. There's a few chests that just have augments in it. The only character I did not find, because I went through that today too on the Xbox, I did not recall seeing a chest for Devora, but I could very easily be wrong. I wasn't keeping that close track. In each of these chests, you get a victory and intro cinematic and 3 gear pieces for each character. They're matching gear pieces, but you don't get a skin. I've often wondered what these gear pieces are matched to, what skin they go with, but I don't know. Also, I do know though that the chests in here and the chest in the Warrior Shrine, along with the Shao Kahn head chest, the heart chests, are all fixed. You cannot get that gear anywhere else. Same with the next area, the Forge. The Forge can be used to combine 3 items you found throughout your journey through the crypt into one, granting you anything from a tower consumable to a gear piece for each character. Although for some reason Kitana has 2. She has 2 fans. You will also need the Forge to create Shinnok's amulet, which you'll need for the puzzle in the Kaiten Hive later on. If you want me to create a video going over the recipes for each Forge item, I most certainly can, because I had a really irritating time finding these. I didn't want to have to go through and find all the recipes, so I just looked it up, but you would not believe how hard it was to find the list of recipes. The next area I want... Excuse me, I need some water. Next area I want to talk about is the Collector. Once you gain entrance to Goro's lair, there's a room on the left that is blocked off at first. You have to pull a chain to open it. Inside, you will not only will you find a heart chest containing a set collector loadout and a collector brutality. In that room, there is a table. Collector will be there, and you can trade certain items you find throughout the crypt with him for gear, skins, and sometimes consumables for some reason. Not real sure why you do that. These gear and skins, once again, are tied exclusively to Collector. If Collector is not there, you get stuff or an item throughout the crypt called Collector Coins. Those can be used to summon him, or you can just wait for the time he's supposed to show up, but I cannot get a for sure answer on when he shows up. anyone has that answer, please comment on this video. I would love to know so I can stop guessing. Next area of the crypt, well, next section of the crypt I want to talk about is Reptile. After you go through Goro's dining hall, which is a straight reference to the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie. Again, another massive pop-off if you're a nerd or if you're me. Through that room, there is a hallway with axes. Yes, you have to dodge these. It feels very much like a Zelda game at this point. Through that area, you'll not only find the Chitin Hive, which is also riddled with death traps. You have to kill the bugs. You will also find a door that you use an item for when you interact with the Raiden statue in the Warrior Shrine. It gives you the Thunder God Shattered Staff. You use that to open this door, go through the door, and you can interact with a statue and free Reptile. There's also a Shao Kahn heart chest back here. I'm not real sure why it's not a Raiden heart chest. Once you free Reptile, you will have to track him down throughout the crypt. There are 10 spots he can appear in. There is a video on YouTube showing where to find him after, or where you can find him after you awaken him. That's how I used to find him. And once you have to use Kenshi's blindfold, which you get in another part of Goro's lair. You have to use that to find Reptile after you awaken him. You put on your blindfold, take a swing at him with Shao Kahn's hammer, crush the poor man, and you will be rewarded with a scorpion skin that turns him essentially into Reptile. I use this skin. I love this skin, but I really wish Reptile was in this game. Next thing I want to talk about is the Naknaden Shrine. Once your trek through the crypt is done, you will, for the most parts, be out of options when it comes to retrieving the rest of the gear and skins that are tied to the crypt. Also, some are specifically tied to the shrine. That's where this thing comes in. Spending 75,000 coins, that's with a K, will grant you 2 gear pieces, and 100,000 will grant you a single skin. Seems a bit much for a skin. It's all random, but you are guaranteed to get most of the remaining gear from the crypt. Also, when you first come to it, spend the lowest amount of coins possible, which is 1,000, and you will be rewarded with Kronika's amulet, which you need to interact with that chitin hive puzzle. The other thing I want to note is that you can spend coins to get forge items and consumables as well. That's at 50,000. That's actually how I rounded out and got all the gear I needed from the forge, except for the Scarlet Vial. So concludes the journey with the crypt. Next big point I want to address is the Towers of Time. Together with the crypt, it is the other main mode which you will get gear and skins for the characters. Specifically, the character towers. These towers have gear and skins locked to them, as well as 2 brutalities. 4 for DLC for some reason. I'm extremely jealous. There are 5 stages to each tower, each costing more coins than the last, although the lower sections of each tower or each stage do tend to give you a lot of coins, so you may not need to coin grind as much as you think you do. There is also a 6th stage added on to each tower that was added through a later update that gives you Jinsei augments for said character, which are augments that grant buffs specifically to that character, such as increasing the range on Scorpion's spear or buffing his fire attack damage, because Scorpion does a lot of that. These stages will also drop random gear and skins. You may get some of the crypt gear and skins you are missing. On a bad note, though, not only do you have to pay for each stage, you have to pay for stage 6, but you have to pay for the tower to gain access to it again every time you lose, which is annoying considering you're going to be losing a lot. Even the AI can't do this one, or at least most of them struggle. Especially if it's the Kano or Katana or Rambo AI. Those suck. Another note, some gear that is tied to the character towers also is tied to the story mode, which is why I would do the story mode first, because if you already have a gear piece that was tied to that tower that you got from the story mode, it will drop another random gear piece or object for that character. Sometimes it's an augment. It's annoying, the whole augment thing. Like whenever it tries to give you something for a character and you have it, it automatically gives you an augment instead of trying another skin or gear, whatever it was going to give you. That annoys me to no end. To access these towers, and I'm only going to point this out because I had a lot of issues finding someone telling me where to go on the Towers of Time screen to find them. When you load into the Towers of Time, go 5 towers to the right. So hit your right button 5 times. Click A. That will bring up the character roster if you don't have a tower already selected, paid for, and loaded. Select your fighter, which is the only fighter you can play as, and it's off to the races. Have fun. Next thing I want to talk about is the race against time. When the Towers of Time, within the Towers of Time is a little thing called the race against time, with rewards that cycle every week, specifically on Tuesday for some odd reason. Your placement in this race determines your rewards, with the gear and skins being tied to top 10% and top 5%, and the Johnny Cage announcer voice also being tied to top 10, which is just funny. Putting Johnny Cage in your announcer voice, you will get some laughs, at least for a while. To increase your placement, just do Towers of Time. Also, no, the character towers do not count. That's the only thing you need to take note of. The character towers do not count towards race against time. The last thing in the Towers of Time I want to talk about is the Soul Thurible Tower Key. In the crypt in the Deadwoods, you will cross a bridge over water that looks like it has a soul chest in it. Which a soul chest is what you use the amulet you require from Ermac to open. It costs you soul fragments. That chest, or that soul fragment spending, actually brings up a chest granting you skins for Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Noob, Katana, Jade, and then it also gives you the Soul Thurible Tower Key. Specifically, those skins are Soul Control for Scorpion, Red Winter for Sub-Zero, Witching Hour for Noob Saibot, Spring Formal for Jade, and I don't remember the one for Katana. I want to say Coliseum Ready, or Coliseum Bound, or one of the things. But what I'm here to talk about is the Soul Thermal Tower Key. This key is a pretty nice hack I've found as far as getting around the RNG BS of this game. That's the one thing I love this game. I love this game to no end, but that is the one thing that ticks me off. Beating the tower will result in a gear piece, a skin, and sometimes an augment for each character. Actually, I think it's a skin and 2 gear pieces for your chosen fighter. You have to fight 5 collectors to do it, which I rather show every chance I can get to beat the crap out of this guy. Once you're close to getting all of the gear and skins, it will start dropping augments, but it will occasionally drop a brutality or 2 or 3 when your character's skins start running low but are not out. That is actually how I got a lot of my brutalities in Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch. I've yet to do it on the MK11 on the Xbox because I just got that key today, not more than a few hours ago. It can be annoying to beat this tower, but if you are trying to find the last of the missing unlockables for this game and you don't want to do it the hard way, this is somewhat of an easy way, although I've gotten to the point that I've almost dried it up on the Switch. Although occasionally I'll get a gear drop. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about are the AI battles. The AI battle simulator also has a good deal of gear and skins tied to it, although the drop rate of these pieces are maddening at the very least. Also, a lot of these unlockables have been moved to the Aftermath story mode once it came out, or some Towers of Time. It's listed as you can get it in the AI battles or as Towers of Time. So it might not be as hard as you think, but it is irritating. And now we arrive to the heart of the problem. If you're a completionist who does not like to play online, hello, Kombat League. It's staring you in the face. I hate this. They should not make gear and skins part of online play, because that, to me, is what made Kombat League so cutthroat. It is what made Kombat League so toxic and annoying to play, because people want that gear and skins and they will cheap you out to get it. People are not afraid to use you as a ladder rung to getting that skin. You are just a stepping stool to them. Just remember that. And they will be ruthless. Not only is it hard, especially when you get matched up with someone way better than you, but yeah. I'm a firm believer of that. The fact that they tied gear and skins exclusively to Kombat League, at least at first, is why Kombat League is so toxic. If they'd made them like DLC skins, or made maybe made them online, but you could pay for them in the crypt or in the store if you didn't want to go through that gauntlet, which is really hard to do, I think Kombat League would be both more fun and less cutthroat. Next thing I want to talk about is the Meteor Towers. If you are like me and couldn't get your console hooked up to the internet for some reason, or you just have a certain distaste for getting mopped repeatedly, I may add, you may find these useful. Just go into the Towers of Time and wait until 10 minutes past every even hour. I will note that it used to be every odd hour. I'm not real sure why they changed it. When a meteor passes by the top of the screen, enter up, left, right, up, and you will summon a tower. Go over to the summon tower option to access it. You have to pay out the butt for these. I mean, it's like 200k coins, I believe. Maybe even 2000k. I don't know if that number is possible, but you have to pay an insane amount. But not only do you have to do that, these don't try these yourself unless you're just really, really good, or just a sadist who enjoys pain, because these fights are insane. Most of the time, my AI couldn't beat it. My advice: augment and consumable your character to the max you possibly can, and then loose them on this irritating computer. Guess what? It's still not foolproof. It's still hit or miss whether you'll actually get the skin or not at all, because you only have an hour to access these towers. Even if you do get it, it almost always takes more than one try. So I hope you have a lot of consumables and a lot of time. Try not to break any controllers. Well, okay. A lot of consumables, a lot of time, and a lot of money. But if you beat the tower, it gives you a Kombat League skin, which is nice because I've gotten quite a lot of them. I augmented my Scorpion to God level, as well as changing his AI behavior to make him far more aggressive, and giving him like 2,000 extra health and the ability to heal through a consumable, and he can usually take them within a couple rounds. Have fun, get those skins, and try not to break your controller. Those things are expensive. Next and last, thing I want to talk about is the premium shop. Last and least, if you followed all the steps I've listed and talked about, cleared out the crypt, beat the tutorials, beat the story mode, exhausted the AI battles, and the Towers of Time, then it comes to this. Hit your right trigger to from a menu, I should say. Hit your right trigger from a menu. You can't be in the roster. That will bring up the premium shop. Here you can see 2 character bundles, 2 skins, a gear piece, a consumable for some reason, and usually 2 brutalities that are for sale. You have to spend time crystals to get them. The shop rotates a few hours, or every few hours or so, and when you find an item you don't have, you can purchase it. For those of you asking about Kombat League gear, when I was talking about the skins through the meteor towers, I found that once you own the skin, by unlocking it through the towers, the gear will be dropped into the rotation of the premium shop, because I actually have a lot of Kombat League gear and I do not play Kombat League on the Switch. So keep your eyes peeled. Note, as I said at the beginning, I still don't have everything in this game, and I've still not unlocked all the gear, skins, and brutalities, and I've been playing this thing since 2019. I'm getting close though. And at last, we've come to the end of this video. If you are like me, just haven't found everything you're looking for, or for some reason haven't played this game yet, and are looking to jump in, I hope this guide is useful to you, even if it's 4 years late. Happy hunting.